we are facing a huge accommodation crisis in all the bigger cities as we speak about. However, in regional, that's not the case.
Welcome to IDP Real Talk, where we discuss real stories, real experiences, and what it's really like to be living in Australia. Today, I have with me the wonderful Amrita Chauhan. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Praj. Thank you for having me.
Well, this is your second time on the podcast. How do you feel?
I am super excited. The first one went really, really well, and I'm so looking forward to unfold today's topic with us international students.
Absolutely. I feel like today students will get to know a lot about studying in regional Australia. But before we get into all of that, my first question for you is, please tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience being in the international education space.
Thank you, Prachi. Well, I've been working in education space from last 16 years, and currently I hold portfolio of destination manager of Australasia region within IDP onshore team. Part of my role is to support, train, and coach the counselors and support international students so that they can arrive and thrive in Australia. I really gather inspiration from IDP student success story, and it is just so surreal, amazing to see them thrive in Australia in their study and career journey.
Wow, 16 years is a long time being in this industry, and I can only imagine how many students you might have helped along your journey. I do want to, in this episode, focus on studying in regional Australia. So my next question for you is, what are some of the main tips, the top tips that you want to give international students who are moving to regional Australia for the first time? And what advice would you give those who are considering studying in regional Australia?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And we can really unfold a lot of information related to regional. So starting with, what are the tips, and if students are considering moving to regional area, I would say, first of all, welcome to the wonderland of Australia. As we know that Australia is known for their regional places, outdoors, mountains, beaches, sand dunes, and you talk about it. So students who are already considering to moving to regional area, I think it'll be an exciting journey. Just do your homework, just check, the university location, look into the accommodation that is closer to the university campus. Most of the time, university has the connectivity, like transportation and accommodation on campus. In case if you're not going for on-campus accommodation, look for the nearest accommodation. Make sure there are amenities around, like shopping center for day-to-day groceries, and then transportation easy to commute within the regional area. And lastly, health clinic as well, so that if you have to look after, your well-being or need to consult with a general doctor, the clinic must be close by. So that's about it. Just make sure that you do your homework before you move to the regional area. Regional communities are way more friendly. They love to help young people. Just one local interaction can give you so much information, right, about the local facilities and local opportunities. And they can act as a networking opportunity for you. So make sure you join the local communities, look into the community centers, and talk to the local to know more about the regional area and the opportunities available there.
That is such a good point, like having that connection with the local community, because I feel like students coming here might have a perspective about this whole thing. They might think that, I'm shy, I don't want to, step out, I don't want to, share my experiences, just feel a bit like isolated when they're in a regional place. But I feel like, definitely connect with the local community. That is such a massive part, because people are curious. They're curious about, your story. They want to hear why you're here to study. And just getting involved in the community is such a big way of networking, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. And they can, refer you to the local jobs around in retail, agriculture, farming, and whatnot, whatever is available in the regional. They really honor, young people there, and they would love to hear the stories like you mentioned, Prachi. Where are you from? What sort of customs and cuisines and culture? So it's a very different world, but very inclusive and welcoming. So take an advantage and talk to the locals.
I love that. I love that point. The next question I have for you now, we've talked about some of the amazing things, studying regional Australia. I do want to talk about some of the challenges that international students face when studying in regional Australia and how they can overcome them?
Absolutely. As much as regional offer an open space and quietness, it can be challenging in certain areas, especially for students if you are coming from a hustle and bustle city. You like city vibes, you like those coffee shops, you like different food options. Like in Melbourne, we have entire Chinatown, right? However, when you're thinking to move to regional, there are some of the challenges you may come across. One is it's more quieter and open space. So if you're comfortable with that kind of peaceful space, then it's amazing. But otherwise, you might feel homesick there, which we totally understand, because moving to another country and being really, really quiet and alone can be daunting. So just do your homework again, that when you move to the regional area, check out for the local community. So that's one part. Transportation, again, something related to Uber and Uber Eats, both will not be at your fingertips. So you probably need to commute a bit to find these options related to transportation as well, and food, the other part as well. So like in urban areas, we find many food options of the same cuisine, wherein in regional area, you will have 1 to 2 shops of the different cuisines like Chinese, Vietnamese, subcontinent, wherein in the urban areas, you will have so many options. So my advice would be, if you like more hustle and bustle happening nightlife places, go for the non-regional or choose a regional which is closer to the city. And if you're really thinking to go out in the open space where you want to access a peaceful environment and focus on your study, then you can choose the regional side of it.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
Yeah.
I remember when I first came here, and I obviously did not do my research that well, but I remember like coming from New Delhi and Melbourne. For me, it's a full-on city, Melbourne, but also, when you go to sleep at night, the quietness is deafening.
Indeed.
And I'm just not used to sleeping to that. Like, it was such a huge culture shock for me. I couldn't sleep because it was so peaceful.
Absolutely. So as much as it is a very enjoyable experience, but it can be daunting, especially when you're new and you don't have friends around, you don't have communities around. So just that part, be mindful, but give yourself 3 to 6 months if you are in that situation. And hopefully you will build your own communities.
Yeah, I feel like you get used to it. But yeah, definitely do your research just so that you can set those expectations for sure. Yeah. Now, I want to shift the conversation to cost of living and affordability in regional Australia. So the first question under that topic is, how does the cost of living in regional Australia compared to major cities? I know students have so many questions around, is it the same? Is it different? Or how different is it? And what specific financial advantages can students enjoy in regional towns?
Generally, regional areas have lower living expense compared to the urban cities, metro cities.
Yay! What a reason to choose regional. Yeah,
absolutely. Big cities like Sydney and Melbourne, they have huge demand in rental properties, and that's the reason there's a fierce competition. That means there will be more applicants, and hence the rental prices are really high. Just for one general property, if you want to buy a house for yourself, and in case if you have a family, it can cost you around $500 per week as per the immigration data, wherein regional starts from $380 to $420 for the entire property. And then we have like studio rooms, apartments, on-campus accommodation that varies from $170 to $250 per week as well. So these are the general difference between the living expense and rental side of it. However, there are other benefits as well. Most of the regional universities, Prachi, offer scholarship. Either it's the financial side of it or accommodation scholarship. So that's one of it, which we will discuss in our next segment. And then students are also offered extra post-study work visa. Now, this is very important. So students who study to the non-regional area, they will have access to the general post-study work visa, which is 2 to 3 years, wherein when you go to regional area, you get 1 to 2 years of additional post-study work visa after you finish your study. Now, that part is so important to gain valuable experience, which can eventually help you to achieve your career goal, but also the migration side of it. So having extra work experience, plus if you are based in regional, you get extra points for migration pathway as well. So that means you can easily compete with students who are not studying in regional area.
Yeah, I love this, especially because now we're moving towards the PR pathway, and I'm sure students have so many questions around that. So one of the benefits of studying in regional Australia is those extra years that you get.
Right.
Amazing.
And extra points for your migration pathway. So it's more simpler, easier. And the last bit is there are so many scholarships offered to the students, which we will unfold in our next question. But these are some of the benefits. Accommodation, scholarships, extra post-study work visa, rental prices are lower. Last one is farmers market. So there's so much, grocery and local farmers market where you can buy food and groceries, which are usually reasonable and affordable compared to the supermarkets.
Wow, so many reasons why you should be studying in regional Australia. I love that. I also, just before this episode, we were chatting about a student of yours who's done the same thing. I'd love for us to elaborate a little bit on that here.
Sure. So one of my students went to Federation University in Ballarat. Ballarat is like 1.5 hours from Melbourne City. So she went there to study Masters of Social Work, completed that, and she got state sponsorship because she was studying in regional areas. So she was sponsored by State Victoria as a social worker. She could apply her migration, and she's also working in a government department as under the social services as a social worker coordinator. So she's enjoying best of both worlds because Ballarat is not away from the Melbourne CBD. So she works there, and usually on weekends she come and catch up with friends in the city and enjoy the city vibe, and also enjoying the regional landscape as well.
Honestly, that sounds like such a dream, and getting work. Getting work with the government as well. That is such an amazing,
great story.
It really is.
And she's doing a fab job. Like, she also worked with IDP later on for a while as a counselor, because under social work, you can just try so many different streams with aged care, with healthcare, with organization like IDP as a counselor. So I think she has gained a lot of confidence by enjoying the both side of the world. And then obviously she's managing her expenses, everything really, really well because of the regional setup.
Wow. This is such a great story for someone especially interested in social work as well. I love that. My next question is just a little bit about the affordability. So with the increasing cost of living across the country, how affordable is it for students to study and live in regional Australia?
Right. We are facing a huge accommodation crisis in all the bigger cities as we speak about. However, in regional, that's not the case. First of all, you can hold the property quite easily. On-campus accommodation is also available, but then off-campus accommodation is also there. So you can rent from one room to studio apartment to a shared facility where you will have kitchen, laundry and living room shared, but then a separate room and ensuite. The prices starts from $170 to $250, and it is also offered by universities, and you can share the rent and share the homestay as well. So in terms of rental, it is quite significantly affordable compared to our urban cities. And the second part is you will get definitely regional scholarships, which we will talk about more in our next question. I think in terms of living expenses, it's definitely affordable compared to the bigger cities where you pay a lot for the travel part, fuel, which is another part because you obviously have to beat the traffic and also travel, where in regional it's quite reasonable and easy to access.
Love that. And now for the segment that we've been building up to, talking about scholarships and financial benefits and incentives for students. My question is about scholarships, obviously. Yes. What scholarships and financial support opportunities are available specifically for students who are wanting to study in regional Australia?
Absolutely. I think our Australian universities have been very accommodative and supportive, especially the regional universities, to the students, because they do understand that you're moving from another country and you probably need fair bit of time, also commuting, looking out for accommodation and whatnot. So they do offer a range of scholarships. All regional universities, first of all, offer scholarships to our students. Now, let's say starting with Victoria as a state. So under Victoria, we have three major regional universities. That is La Trobe. They have campus in Bendigo. Then we have got Federation University in Gippsland and Ballarat. And the third one is Deakin. So La Trobe offers $3,000 support financially to settle you down in the regional side, Federation offered $1,000 accommodation per semester. It's an accommodation scholarship per semester, which you can avail, which will help you to settle down in the regional area of Ballarat. Then Deakin has a regional campus in Geelong, and they offer 20 to 25% of the scholarship. Just on the eligibility, obviously they will go through your transcripts. Some depend upon the GPA and some are by default as well. So when the students will work with IDP offices, onshore or offshore, they will guide you with the process. You don't have to worry about it. We will help you with the scholarship part. These are some of the great scholarship offered by Victoria. Then Queensland, oh my God, Sunshine Coast, sunshine where you will have sun 365 days. They offer 15% scholarship on your study duration. And when you calculate it, the semester fees comes down significantly. And top of that, you have affordable living expense. So when you total it, it's actually really, really affordable. Then we have Southern Cross. They give $8,000 per year if you are studying in Lismore and Coffs Harbour, which is towards the New South Wales regional area. New South Wales, we have UNE 20%, University of Wollongong 30 to 20%, and lastly Charles Sturt University, they offer 20 to 25% in New South Wales. As we know that South Australia, Adelaide and Western Australia are entirely regional areas. So all the public universities offer scholarship between 25 to 30%. Flinders offers 25 to 20%. University of South Australia gives 15%. Depend upon your GPA, and then ECU in Western Australia give 20% of the scholarship on UG and PG courses. Similar story with Murdoch, Curtin, 25%. So you can see, Prachi, these are all the regional universities, and they vary from 15 to 30%. These are the general scholarship which they're going to give you to support you with your living expenses and accommodation. However, the scholarship which I'm most excited about is the destination scholarship, which is worth of $15,000. Now, every student is eligible to apply for it. What is the criteria? As long as you're moving to a regional university, studying a full-time course, starting from certificate 4 level to PhD level, you will be eligible to apply for this scholarship. This scholarship is mainly offered by government. It opens usually around August every year and closes in January. So, talking about 2024 intake, this scholarship is still open. So students who are considering to study regional university for next year can still inquire about the scholarship. If given $15,000 per year, it will significantly reduce your tuition fees. So please take an advantage, get in touch with IDP offices and your education providers. They will be talking about regional destination scholarship, give you more information about that. So these are some of the scholarships. The list is so long, I can't cover all of them. But I can assure students that you will be able to get something when you are going to apply to the university.
I love this massive list of scholarships that we've gone through, and I love that you've mentioned scholarships that are so significant in each state. I also want to mention here that scholarships can be found on the IDP website, and we also have that available on the IDP app as well. And we obviously keep publishing any scholarship opportunity that comes on our social media, on our Facebook and Instagram page as well, so students can follow us there. So scholarships are everywhere, and we want students to grab that opportunity, talk to an IDP counselor, and get that scholarship.
Get that scholarship. Just don't worry about it. Basically, IDP counselor and university will work with you to make sure that you access these scholarships.
I love that. I feel like scholarships is such a great way to get into university, and I feel like it's such a great help for students as well in the long run. 15 to 30% is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And if you manage to bag the destination scholarship, I remember one of our student from Sydney office who is now a counselor at IDP Sydney. She went to CSU, which has regional campuses in New South Wales, I think Orange and Bathurst. She was managed to get this destination scholarship of $15,000 per year.
Wow.
And her tuition fees just came down so significantly that it was almost close to kind of paying nothing for the entire master's course. So that's one success story, but there are many. So just don't hesitate, don't be nervous, just talk to us and we will be able to give you the information.
I love that. I love that. Now we're moving to more about the quality of life in regional towns and housing as well. So what would you have to say about the overall quality of life studying and living in regional Australia as compared to, major cities?
I think as long as you enjoy the open space, the environments are so amazing. You have access to large, vast blue skies. The wealth of greenery, the visual treat you are going to get will help you really balance, and focus more. You can access a peaceful environment where you can just go all out with your creativity, with your study goals. And also the opportunities regional offer is just amazing. It's growing like anything, and they need more people there, right? So students, when they go there, study and work part-time, it just adds so much value. And top of that, you don't need to plan any vacation. You don't need to spend on B&Bs and accommodation because you're just in the regional lab. All you can do is finish your study. If you're working, finish your work. And then over the weekend, whenever you have time off, just go out with your friends. It's on your fingertips. You just go out for a day tour and then come back. And then you can access those wonderful, mountains, caves, and beaches. Even on working days, there's no rush there, right? So I feel like if you're someone who really like to enjoy the natural wonders, then regional is going to change you, transform you. It is going to sit in you, and the confidence you are going to gain is going to change your entire journey of the life.
I love that.
So well-being wise, I think, Prachi, it's just amazing to see all the phases, all the seasons there, all the colors, and all the natural beauty it is going to offer to you. And top of that, you're studying in regional university. So
I love that. Having the option to go say hi to a koala or a wallaby or a kangaroo in your backyard.
Absolutely. And if you have your friends, along with you, then this experience is going to be amazing because you're technically on a holiday, but you are studying and then you're also gaining experience while enjoying the surroundings.
Amazing. I feel like in this episode, we've talked so much about the benefits of studying in regional Australia, scholarships available, the quality of life that it provides there. All right. Well, we're coming to the end of the episode. If there's a single piece of advice that you want students to take away from this episode, what would that be?
That's an interesting one. Well, I would say, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be all right.
Love that.
Just don't worry. You're just at the beginning of your journey, and sometimes we just take too much stress, but everything is taken care. Once you're in Australia, the communities are so inclusive. They're so lovely, so talkative. They will build you, invest you with the confidence and culture so that you can conquer the world. So just be open, embrace, don't resist. Just be open and enjoy the surroundings.
I love that. Thank you so much for being on the episode, Amrita. I think students will have so much to take away from this episode.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Prachi, for having me.